Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm back out here working on the bank barn. Just got done tearing out some more of the floor, got some floor joists torn out, and now I'm ready to start tearing out some of these blocks. So I started looking at these. They look like they had a bunch of dirt and stuff in them, but down underneath the dirt, these got concrete poured inside of them. So if these just happen to be concrete poured all the way down to the foundation and completely filled with concrete, these blocks are going to be a lot harder to come out. So this may end up being quite a job. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab, I got a circular saw with a diamond blade on it that is made for cutting concrete. And we're going to cut a line right down the side of these blocks, probably do it on both sides. And then that'll give us at least a nice line to start from, and then we'll start tearing the blocks out back this direction, and we'll see how hard this is going to be. I do have a dust mask to wear while I'm doing the saw cutting, because that is really dusty cutting concrete if you don't have like a wet saw. So let's go ahead and get to doing this. Well, the concrete blocks where they're laid doesn't really line up real well, so we're just gonna, I guess, do it the best we can. We'll just saw a straight line. So we only got 4 rows of blocks here, and this right here is a foundation that was poured, so it's gonna have to stay. We'll probably end up building gravel up here and ramp up into the inside of here when we're done. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start busting this out, and I'm using a splitting maul. People are asking, why was I using a splitting maul? Well, it's because I don't have a sledgehammer, so I use a splitting maul every time I need a sledgehammer. But we're gonna go ahead, see if we can start breaking this wall out. Hopefully this works. Oh my goodness. All right, that's pretty solid. Oh. It's amazing how strong a concrete block gets when you pour it solid. Oh man. Probably got rebar in there. It's gonna be tough. Holy cow. Oh, man. At this rate, it ought to be done by summer. Well, I've busted out enough to make a seat so far. I think I got 3 blocks out. This is ridiculous. Whew. So I guess to look on the bright side of things is so far, at least we haven't ran into any rebar. This is just solid concrete. Now, if my saw blade would have been able to cut all the way through, I really think this would have came out a lot easier. But I think my saw blade only cuts maybe 2.5 inches deep. So there's a pretty good chunk in the middle that's getting left behind. No, it ain't even 2.5 inches. It's probably closer to 2 inches deep. So this is a job. I definitely need to probably rent a piece of equipment to get this done. I may have to rent like a mini excavator, something with a backhoe, like with a thumb, maybe, where I can just grab this wall and work it and break it. I think that's kind of maybe my best option. I'd try to push on it with the tractor if I could get like this broken out, and if I got it broken out on that end where I knew I wouldn't be pushing on the wall that's holding up the roof. I definitely don't want to push on anywhere that might cause the roof to come down. So yeah, this is quite a job. So I actually was pretty sore today. I fell down the staircase last night. I was talking to Rebecca at the top of the loft. I was talking to her looking down over the handrail, and I went to go down the steps and I misstepped, and I went all the way down the steps to the front door. And yeah, it'd probably been funny if it was on camera, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, I could have probably got hurt worse. I was able to at least joke around about it afterwards. But I am definitely feeling it today, in my hips and on my arms where I was riding the staircase. I'm definitely gonna be sore tomorrow, that's for sure, after swinging this splitting maul and falling down the staircase. I'm gonna have probably a pretty rough day tomorrow. Well, I think that took about everything I got to get out. Oh man, what was that, like 4 or 5 concrete blocks? That's terrible. But at least I got it basically down to the foundation. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take out a few more of these floor joists over here. We're gonna grab the tractor. I think I'm gonna try to put the grapple on the tractor, see if I can grab like the top of that wall and see if I can push on it or pull on it and see if I can break that wall over using the tractor grapple. It may not work, but right now I'm about willing to try anything instead of swinging a maul trying to break these blocks. So right here, this may be my saving grace. This wall was cracked all the way down through the foundation right here. And then hopefully that'll allow us to take this wall and break it out. We'll wait and see. I forgot to attach my quick attach. Do you see that? That is a screw up.
So I got in a hurry when I hooked up the grapple to the tractor. I hooked up the hydraulic hoses, but I forgot to close the latches on the quick attach. So as soon as I closed the grapple and it grabbed the block wall, it became detached from the loader. So the grapple is sitting there and it's holding the block wall. It's clinging to the block wall, and it's actually on there crooked. It's not on there straight, but I try over and over to reposition the tractor. Luckily the hoses are long enough that I can move the tractor back and forth, and I'm trying to get this reattached to the end of the loader. And you know, I worked at this for several minutes trying to get this reattached. So finally I decided that wasn't going to work. I decided to release the grapple and just let it fall down, and hopefully I would be able to attach back to it.
That may have been the best thing I could have done. Oh, that one still isn't in. Well, I'm still in trouble because that one still isn't in. So I'm not going to bring the tractor back in here to get this stuff because it just tore the ground up in here. This is the time of season where it's starting to freeze and thaw, and it just kind of makes this slimy, muddy layer on top. And we just rutted up and tore up this section of the barnyard pretty bad. So I think I'm just going to call it quits with the tractor. It'd be best to come back in here when this is frozen to get these blocks. But what I'm going to do now, we're going to saw cut this and get that ready to take out. We're going to go ahead and take the rest of these rafters out and get that side at least complete. All right, let me show you guys something. So this part that we're working on here, this is an addition. This was added on to the barn. So this is the original barn wall right there. That is the bottom of the bank barn. And that is the original wall. And this right here has been added on at some point in time. Wasn't for sure when, but all that back there that's wood. See, this has got corrugated metal. All that back there is the original bank barn. And we think that that's probably from maybe 1940s, 1950s. Wasn't for sure when this was added on. So as we ripped into this today, all this lumber, all the lumber on top was like oak and walnut 2x4s, but the floor joists are regular lumber bought at a lumber yard, and it looks like treated lumber. So I looked up to see when treated lumber started. So pressure treated lumber started in the 1960s. So this was probably late 60s, early 70s when they added this back part onto the barn here. And that's because of the pressure treated lumber used in the floor. Those are some 2x6s is what they used in the floor. Before pressure treated was the creosote, you know, like the black railroad ties and what they used on telephone poles. And then pressure treated came out later. So this was probably late 60s, early 70s. They added this part on and probably used what materials they had, or maybe they had these oak boards sawn locally, but they definitely bought treated lumber to make the floor joists out of. That's interesting. So that helps me tell the age of when this actual addition was added. So throughout the progress of redoing the back of this barn, lots of people concerned with the old lumber, because this is old oak and walnut and whatever hardwoods was out in the woods that they cut down at the time. And they didn't want that to go to waste, because I was throwing it all onto a burn pile. So I've done some thinking, and I've actually come up with some projects where I can reuse a lot of this lumber. It needs to be a certain length. So as long as it's 10, 12 feet long or so, I'll probably be able to use it. So I've got a couple outside projects where we can build something outside and reuse that lumber. And then I think I'm also going to reuse these treated 2x6s that they had for the floor. I think I've got another project that I can use those. So not all the lumber is going to get wasted. As long as it's long enough, I do have something I can use it on. So I've thought about opening up the back of this barn for several years now, and it's finally starting to look the way I imagined it. So I probably imagined it to be a little bit bigger opening back here, but I think 20 feet, 19 feet or so that we got is plenty. We still got quite a bit of work left to do. So still got the concrete blocks to take out here. And we still got all the floor and the lumber and stuff to take out over here. And then after that, we're gonna have to try to figure out how to replace the sill plate. The sill plate is rotted all the way around, and I'd like to figure out a way to get that replaced. We'll have to see how that goes. And then we're gonna cover this with wood. We're gonna go ahead and cover it with some kind of wood on the outside, probably some of the like the barn siding wood. And then that way, if we paint the barn, we can paint everything and it'll all look like it goes together. So that's kind of the idea, is the corrugated metal's coming off the side, and we're gonna put wood around the side. We'll close in the two doors on the, I think, on the ends, and wall those in. And then this will be pretty much the way it's gonna be. It'll be done. It's almost ready to use right now, really. I mean, if I got those concrete blocks out of the way right there, you know, animals can get in there out of the weather and use one half of it, no problem. So it's getting closer. So quite a few more things left to do. So that's how it always goes, right? Well, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's how we're doing the bank barn, one task at a time. But anyway, that's it for today, guys. The sun is going down. The sun is down right on the horizon. Look at all of that, how much we tore that up. I mean, we tore that up good today. And then I'll focus over here. Yeah, the sun is just right on the horizon. So I better get my stuff cleaned up and call it a day. I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. I'm very sore tomorrow. Guarantee it. After falling down the stairs, swinging a sledgehammer, I'm definitely, I'll be hating myself tomorrow for sure. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Hey guys. Oh my goodness, the turkeys are right next to me. Why is it every time I try to like talk to the camera, you guys all come around and get in my face? Mr. Turkey, I don't know why you're strutting for me, buddy. I'm not your type. Go away. Quit bothering me. Thank God for long hoses. Oh, it's actually getting a rush. My nose is running. It's not COVID, it's cold outside. What's funny is when you get in front of a camera, you got dirt all over your face and you don't know it. That happens to me all the time.